Well, I now have a little bit under a week to go until Janland. It's currently Saturday the 17th here. My Kirby Air Riders trophy is almost done here, but we just have the last tiny little smidge to go here. So, I guess if I go to full cam here, the part that's done, ta-da, all glued together and stuff now, minus this. I do kind of like it being free. I was streaming some Monster Hunter Wilds earlier today, and I did reprint the Kirby. So, here's the one from before, with the holes and stuff that I guess can be like second place trophy. I tinkered around with my print settings. Look at that smooth dome. Beautiful. So, got that fixed after all, and I guess I have a second place prize-ish. You know, so there's that. But I also kind of wanted to have like a specific tag on the front. So what I'm working on right now is this. This is like the last step. So this is the same kind of plate that I used with the Alola and Fragapalooza Mario Kart trophies. Like I literally just used the same file because it was easy enough to use. So hopefully this tiny little plate can fit here without getting in the way of the star. Oh, I guess if it's there, you're not going to be able to spin it freely. Maybe I can just glue it right to the front. I 3D printed this little wedge to just kind of like prop up the little nameplate thing. I don't know. Well, we'll see here. I'll figure it out. We'll see what's going on there. But that's what I'm printing. And I was initially just going to do white, blue, pink. But then I had the idea of doing like white, then my transparent filament, and then blue, and then pink. And then it looks kind of crystal-like, ice-like kind of thing that'd be fitting for Janland here. And it's totally not an excuse to use the last tiny bits of this crappy transparent roll and get it used up and done with. That'd be ridiculous. So, you know, might be a little bit of rapid color changing this time around. Might be dipping back and forth, because this is only going to be like a 10-minute print is the thing. So it's going to get done like immediately, but I kind of wanted to do it during the stream because it's kind of like the finishing touches of this project that I've been working on there. Is kind of the case. But yeah. Hello, I heard you create a Skylander or Amiibo by using the NFC card in 3D printing. What? Whoops, that's controllers. No. That'd be ridiculous. Why would I do something like that? That's yeah, anyway, I didn't make any changes, so don't worry about it. So I've been kind of wrapping up some loose ends here recently. So a couple days ago, I finished off Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, which is the final of the non-remake Final Fantasy VII games I want. I guess Crisis Core had that remake. You know what I mean? The remake trilogy. The last of the important Final Fantasy VII games to do before that point. Wrap that up. The other day here, I ended up wrapping up Kirby Air Riders when it turned out that I wasn't actually finished with the game like I thought I was. There was a true final boss and secret character I hadn't unlocked. So I did that last night. It was actually kind of hype. Not gonna lie. It was kind of cool. The music was really awesome. And yeah, maybe tonight, maybe I beat Mega Dimension tonight. Though there is still technically post-game of this, so I still won't be done at that point. But hey, maybe it's another loose end that's kind of wrapped up. But the main reason why I want to stream this tonight is finishing up our little printing project here. Praise common in the Skylanders community, I believe it. Final Fantasy is an oxymoron? Is it now? Wow, I'm not going to have much time to play ZA. This filament is going to crack the moment I load it. Like, it is so brittle. I've had it for a couple of years now. It'd be helpful if I had, like, a dehumidifier, but... Oh, well, what you gonna do? I already have these bits that I've cracked off from previous times. So, like, we'll see here. Let's see. No matter what, this is the last time I'm using that filament. I'm recycling what remains of the roll. With nothing left on there. Trying to use up as much plastic as I can before that point. Yeah. And yeah. So, that's the plan here. So, yeah. Past the transparency, it's going to be like a solid white background, and this will have it look all icy and stuff. Maybe? I don't know. Let's see. Watch it break immediately. Okay. It's somehow did not break immediately here. But yeah, I'm looking for something to watch while eating leftover spaghetti, and in comes Harmonia. The spaghetti that you were telling me about during Kirby Air Riders last night. The very same. There we go. The final use for that crappy little roll of filament there. Yeah, let's just see here. Because they keep making more and remaking 7 every few years. Well, continuing to remake 7, because even though Final Fantasy 7 was just one game, they were like, you know what, when we remake it, let's turn it into 3 games. Maybe when I play Remake and Rebirth, it'll make sense, and I'll be like, oh, this did justify making 3 games. But at face value, as someone that's played Final Fantasy 7, but not the remake games, I don't get it. Yeah, reason it's called Final Fantasy is because they wanted to name it Fighting Fantasy, but the name was taken, so they called it Final instead to keep the alliteration? I did not know that. I was not aware of that. What am I doing? Oh, I'm grinding out crap for the hyperspace objectives, aren't I? Oh, I'll wait for it to change time, because it's literally about to. Final Fantasy 14 isn't ending anytime soon. That game makes too much money. So I've heard. Why is there no, like, icons by names here? Isn't that... Maybe I just don't pay enough attention to, like, the chat on this layout. But, like, the icons are showing up just fine in the Twitch chat that I'm looking at. But, like, this is just... Everyone is the same. All the badges are gone. Reduced to atoms. Is 11 the first of the 2 Final Fantasy MMOs? I think so? Something like that? There's, like, 3 things that I gotta do. One is get 50,000 hyperspace points, which is gonna slowly happen while I'm doing the first 2 anyway, I think. The other is get a Mega Stone for Galissapog. Another one is get a Mega Stone for you. I came up with a fitting name here for, like, you know, electricity, light, all that kind of stuff, especially when I was looking at the Mega forms, and it's like, oh, there's actually something more interesting going on with Mega Y when you're shiny, in my opinion, so maybe I'll go with Mega Y. And, I need to figure out where I even get Raichu Mega Stones, because I actually don't know, but it's, you know, I figured it'd be a fitting one to put into the party here, considering, you know, Raichu is literally on, like, one of the key arts of Mega Dimension here. The whole Raichu X and Y was one of the big things they use in advertising for it, so it's kind of the, after Hoopa, the mascot of Mega Dimension here. And when I just so happened to have got that shiny Pikachu, what a little sparkle. Guess I got that one shiny Fletchling too, and like I said before, I do actually really like Talonflame. But I wanted Flarita for 1, and 2, looking at the shiny for Talonflame, I think I like the coloration more of like the regular one. I don't know why I just sent you out. Also, I was over here and I got some mints for some of my Pokemon here, so that my my Gator is a little bit less inbred with some of the weird shenanigans that were going on with the nature before. Basically, just swap them around. But getting the mints in this game is really quite annoying, because you have to go around to all these flower stands that only sell like 5 mints each, and they don't say what they do. You have to Google that, and it's just, there isn't one collective place you can just get all the mints, so I didn't actually find all the ones that I was looking for. Pain in the butt. Pokemon, if I can spell Pokemon right. Pokemon Legends ZA, how to get Raichu Mega Stones. I should have Googled this before I started the stream. How do you get Raichu's Mega Evolution Stone? You have to complete the side quest with the woman in front of Kayla Star using the Alolan Raichu first. Oh, that one. Then, if you have the DLC, a quest will appear with a question mark and the comment Unknown Mega Stone. Okay, I can probably do that. Also, the name is fitting when you realize that Square was going under at the time of Final Fantasy 1 was a massive gamble. They bet everything on. Yeah, I remember hearing that, like, Final Fantasy 1 was supposed to be, like, you know, the final game of, like, the director or something like that was behind it, something or other. I don't remember. Here, go to a bench first and turn it to days so that my thumbnails are a little bit more visible. You know, and I take a screenshot of this for sake of a thumbnail and all that. Like, if you really want to do a complete Final Fantasy series, you gotta skip the MMOs due to their nature. I do not want to do a complete Final Fantasy series. I want to do a complete Final Fantasy VII series, since I know that that's, like, the biggest name in the whole series. Hence me going through all the Final Fantasy VII games before the remake stuff. Well, all the Final Fantasy VII ones minus the ones that are lost media and just genuinely basically impossible to play nowadays. All the ones that are still possible to play nowadays, I ended up playing through. Like, I'm not out of my mind to play through every Final Fantasy game. Just trying to get everything about Final Fantasy 7. And when I'm done with 7, then I'll probably do 10, most likely. Either 10 or Tactics. And then from there, I don't know, that's probably several years down the line. So, let's not worry about that right now. Alola! I'm with Charge, the committee to highlight Alolan Raichu and generate excitement. Our goal is to increase the popularity and the population of Alolan Raichu. You know what that means? Get to fucking... Well, I say our goal, but I'm the only member of the committee for now. In any case, are you familiar with regional forms? Maybe, maybe not. Either way, here's the scoop. You know how some Pokemon's looks can be influenced by the region they live in, right? Well, in Alola, even the Pikachu we all know and love evolved into a different form of Raichu. Rather than me explaining the differences, why not try comparing the two yourself? And I know just how you should do it. Let's have a Pokemon battle between your Raichu and my Alolan Raichu. Alola Raichu? Doesn't this lead up to like... oh look, you can compare... There's literally one down the street! What do you mean I have to get a Raichu to compare? There's one right there! Whatever, man. Once you're ready to test your Raichu against my Alolan Raichu, just come and let me know. Don't you have to, like, trade a Raichu with her? Using only a single Raichu. I'm not going to be locked into trading Lumina if I do a thing here, right? Okay, so yes, I assume I can trade a different Raichu. I don't want to go take that guy's Raichu. Anyway, what was the next color? Oh god, I forget what order my colors went. Was it pink next or blue next? I genuinely do not recall. Hold on, it was blue next. That's what it was. And then pink was just going to be like right on the very top. Gotcha. All right, blue next it is. Let's see here. That actually looks kind of cool with the transparent filament. I think that was a good idea. All right, how much of this crap do I have left? Well, I can just take this off the roll at this point. This awful filament I want to use up. If it can come out of the hole on that one side there. Might just have to cut it. That is what I have to do, isn't it? Probably. I'm allergic to cutting it, though. It's really quite the predicament that puts me in. It's curved at the one end here. Oi! This is not exactly what I want this whole stream to become. I'm trying to not be boring content creator out here or anything. Here we go. This is how much is left of that terrible roll. I don't think that's really useful for anything. But put it on the side here. I preemptively pulled things out so I'd get the right. Light blue. Perfect. The same kind of blue I used in this dragon here. That's also going to be a Janland prize, but like general giveaway prize rather than tournament prize. Let's see here. Maybe Mythic's right. Maybe I really should just buy a multicolor printer one of these days. Then I wouldn't have to be manually going back and forth constantly for little short prints like this, or have to supervise it constantly. You know, it is a little bit of a pain. Okay, there we go. Now it's gonna write some Janland text. And then we're gonna go switch to pink for it to say Kirby Air Riders. I tried to do the font of like actual Kirby Air Riders. I couldn't quite get that figured out, so I just went with like general Kirby style font and stuff like that. But yeah, also speaking of Final Fantasy and lawsuits, surprised TSR never did any kind of legal action towards Final Fantasy 1, considering that literally every aspect of it, aside from Chaos, is ripped straight from AD&D? What's AD&D? How what? This is Pokemon Legends ZA. Don't think, just accept. Glad they didn't, because then we never would have gotten Final Fantasy Origin. And it's amazingly funny writing. I don't even know what Final Fantasy Origin is. Well, I just so happen to have a a single Raichu here. Hello, hello, Nurex. The screen's small? Shouldn't be the case. Like, the game is a little bit smaller than most of my playthrough stuff that I do, but that's just, like, the layout that I'm using. Yeah, just saving there before I accidentally do a trade here. Oh, you brought Raichu. Well, then care to battle my Alolan Raichu? Sure. Okay, it was on your end. It's Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition. Okay. Both Raichu have their charms, but the Alolan form has a different type. That means different strengths and weaknesses. Stay on your toes. Well, first I thought you were talking about Final Fantasy Origins on the PS1, but then I remember that stupid spin-off they made. I don't know enough about either Raichu's or Final Fantasy. Look at that. Advanced rule set for first edition. Well, it's a good thing I had a really strong Raichu here. Time to surf. First and second edition both had AD&D. Now we're gonna do the final color changes and then gonna switch immediately. All my funds were gone towards frickin' mints. If you're wondering where all my money went. I think that maybe the Alolan form can't use its true power without Alolan pancakes to fuel it. What? Let's see. Unload. This is gonna look cool though. Don't worry, it'll be worth. It'll look cool. That's what's important here. And then we're gonna have to decide what the heck I'm printing afterwards. Because I have some ideas of other things to take to Janland. So, what was I about to grab? I was about to grab that pink. That same kind of bright, metallic pink. Technically, the color is called Youth Red. Whatever the heck that means. No, it's a nice color. I do just have like a bubblegum pink, it's called, but I kind of like the shininess. I'll resume this. It's gonna finish in like 1 minute, and then we'll have the fuel thing made. We'll see if its size is okay. Alright, let's see here. There we go. Really all it has to do is 2 layers of text saying Kirby Air Riders now, so it's gonna finish in like a moment. What a spectacular victory! But don't go assuming we're done here yet. The committee to highlight Alolan Raichu and generate excitement has one last thing to offer. Let's trade your Raichu for my Alolan Raichu. What do you say? No. That's too bad. Well, Charge will always be here waiting if you change your mind. Yeah, it's just trade a Raichu. Thank goodness. Like, let's not here. That, would not be good. Here, boop. Almost the right order. There we go. Alright. So, in my boxes here, look, here's some random Pikachu. Do I have another Thunderstone? Lumina's going in there. Hold on. Whoops, that's Pokedex. What is wrong with me? Satchel, other items. Hey, look, another Thunderstone. I have another couple. Here we go. Get some crappy level 7 Raichu. Instead of the level 100 shiny Raichu. Ever heard of Dungeon Hack that was based on 2nd edition AD&D? Yeah. I wouldn't be familiar with it. But thinking about Dungeons & Dragons is reminding me of the that Assassin's Creed Valhalla stream, which is reminding me, oh yeah, that's another thing that I wrapped up recently, was Assassin's Creed Valhalla's roguelike mode. I was finishing a bunch of stuff off here recently. Check it out. This actually looks pretty cool, not gonna lie. The pink, like, very much stands out in a way where maybe it looks a little out of place. I don't know. I've been using this plate a while. I should wash it. Let's switch out with the other plate. This one should be a little cleaner now. Have a bit less plastic residue and stuff on it. We have our new move, Thunder Punch. Check it out. I should probably turn off my light, because with the light there, you're not going to be able to see this otherwise. So let's see here. That is the wrong thing. Turn off the light. I said. There we go. Turn off the light. Check it out. So the little nameplate here. Kirby Air Riders, Janland 2026. That kind of looked like it said 4 when I was looking over at OBS. But yeah, that Janland 2026 and a little bit of stringy filament off the end there. Yeah, I think it's kind of, well, if I turned on the room light, you'd be able to see it a little bit better. I turn on this light, and it's just going to be so much reflection. Oh, no, you can kind of tell. Yeah, I think that works well with the transparent filament. Makes it look kind of like an icy texture. So, like, we just have a solid white on the back, like that. That reflects so well off of that. But then the transparent here, I have to get, like, the right angle. That's kind of cool. Is there so much stringy plastic? Is there, like, ample space on a side for, like, let's see here. That could be kind of neat, right? Do a little bit of gluing on my own time. You might not be able to spin it anymore. You might be able to wobble it. But that'd be kind of cool. Like, I glue the wedge in there to kind of hold it in place and glue it all together. Then you have Kirby Air Riders, Janland 2026. This will be cool, I'm thinking. So I'm going to have to do a little bit of gluing on my own time here. But, yeah, I think that's going to be awesome. And then you can, of course, tap it as an amiibo that says Janland 2026. Alright, I can trade one that's in my boxes, right? Or, hold on. Trade your Raichu for my Alolan Raichu. What do you say? Let's trade. Yeah, make sure it's this one. Let's see here. Sending Raichu to Gradella. Goodbye, Raichu. If I sent my shiny one, would there just forever be, like, a shiny Raichu standing next to her for, like, the rest of the game? Be a little funny. If you can't spin it anymore, then keep Kirby firmly on instead of having it be removable. I could. Or another idea that I had. Do I have them here or did I put them back in my drawer? I have some of them here for my last little project I was working on. Here they are. Another thing that I could do is magnets. Just tiny little round disc magnets. They keep the shinies. Interesting. Well, you don't get my shiny. I could, instead of gluing it on there, is I glue to the top here a magnet, and I glue a magnet to here. So it's like you can put it on there and it stays still, but you can still, like, remove it and inspect it and play around with it and stuff, you know? That was my other idea that I had. So, yeah, I think that that probably is a good approach to take. So, it'll really come down to when I put on the wedge there and seeing how much Kirby can still move. But otherwise, I might just take the magnet approach. Wow! Just drop all my magnets quickly. Good thing they don't scatter everywhere because they're magnets, or else that would have been extremely disastrous just now. The Alola Raichu is darker than usual and keeps tricking me into thinking the Alola Raichu is shiny. The trading Raichu is how we'll spread the joy of the Alolan regional form. You know, the Alolan form is lovely, of course, but just plain Raichu are pretty adorable, too. Oh yeah, you don't get the shiny one. Look, now you can have the same Pokemon as that one dude in the distance. Yeah, that actually worked out really good with that transparent filament, and great excuse to use up the last of that terrible roll. I don't like how it turned out. I think the Janland 2026 looks better on that background. The whole Kirby Air Riders pink part kind of stands out like a sore thumb, but maybe that's kind of the intention. Oh, hold it in the right light, and a certain amount of light goes through because the transparent filament. It does look kind of icy and stuff. It's gonna be cool, man. Can Alola Raichu Mega Evolve? Good question. I can find out after I get the Mega Stone. Well then, I'm off on another journey. I'll travel over to Alola, befriend a bunch of Alolan Raichu, and spread their cuteness all around the world. That's what Charge is all about. Alola Raichu. Alright, well. There. Well, I don't exactly need that, though. There we go. Make sure that you stay here. Floppy? Hey, what are Floppy's moves? Psychic, Surf, Thunder, Play Rough. And yeah, you get to be a whole dual type. Well, I don't get to be a dual type. But at least I glow. Alright, well. Let's see here. Go to a Pokemon Center here really quickly now. Is what I'll do. So, always greatly preferred Raichu to Pikachu. Fair enough. In terms of what to print next, the main things that I needed to print for Janland, well, needed, were Trophy. That's done now after some gluing, and maybe I'll consider painting the eyes. Maybe here. Like a main kind of prize for general giveaway, and that's done here with like this super massive dude. I do have to go over it with a heat gun to clean up some of the stringies, but you know, it's done. Biggest print that I've ever done. I'll have to do another one of these one day. Have one to put on one of my own shelves somewhere, because it did actually turn out kind of cool. I got a new white filament that's like a very, very light blue that's called Snow White, and it's going to be perfect for that kind of dragon. So I'll print one of my own one day. And I have two general prizes that I'm bringing for giveaways in Janland. That dragon, and this Slurpee cup that is a Tetris playing machine. It looks like a Slurpee cup. You can't use it as a cup. It is literally just a machine with a little display and you play Tetris on it. It was won at Extra Life last year from, my little cousin won it. He won it using my mouse pad. It was just like, oh, first person to bring me something Pokemon themed wins a prize. And he ran up there with my mouse pad so dang fast and came back with this Tetris playing Slurpee cup. But neither one of us won it. So like, it's probably going to go to someone who hopefully does want it by becoming a Janland prize. So I'm bringing that just because we wanted an extra life, but we don't want it. I'll bring this dragon because it's like my actual cool contribution. And of course the tournament stuff that I'm doing, there's going to be the prize for. But now, may as well have this for like first prize, like the trophy. This may as well become second prize, like the one with the holes in it. Like, I would feel kind of wrong, like, tossing this in the recycle, especially if someone would get a kick out of it. I can still just put a little NFC tag on the bottom, and then it's still like a tappable amiibo, and then it's still a little bit cool. And that did get me thinking about if I want prizes for like 3rd and 4th place. Like, just something small, like not as elaborate as something like this. You know, it's a much smaller event than something like Fragapalooza. I don't have to go that ham. But, you know, just something to take home. You make it to the final round, you gotta take something cool home. And so, one of the things that I found online was, I was looking for models of, like, King Dedede, Meta Knight, characters like that. Kind of hard to find. I found a half-decent King Dedede one that I could print with a bazillion supports. The only, like, super easy to print one that I found was a Waddle Dee one. And apparently a Waddle Dee amiibo exists as well, so I could absolutely print one of these as well. And, unfortunately, there wasn't a standalone star model, so I had to figure out in Mesh Mixer how to cut the Kirby out, and clearly I didn't do it perfectly when this is no longer level, as you can see. I really need to learn, like, proper 3D modeling stuff, but, that's a problem for another day, so that was what I kind of put together. I could do something like that, so maybe it's, like, first place gets a, like, full trophy, second place gets a Kirby on a star, third place gets a Waddle Dee on a star, and they're all functional amiibo. If I really, really want to do something for 4th place, I was looking at some different Kirby models earlier today. Could always do something cursed. You know, could be the one excuse to 3D print a cursed Kirby and be like, oh, here's a consolation prize for 4th place. You get to take this home. It'd be the one time I could realistically do that. And it might be extremely funny. So, you know, there's options in terms of what I could print for the rest of this stream. Like, do that actually. Lancer getting a kick out of that. Or if anybody, like, during the course of this stream, if anybody, like, finds a Kirby model that they really get a kick out of, that's, you know, a 3D printing model, like, just post it in the chat and I can have a look at it and be like, oh yeah, that one's pretty good. Maybe I'll print that one, you know? This one was the best basic one that I could find. I'll need to print it with some supports if I print it, just because, like, printing over midair there, so, you know, I set it up to have these supports, but I could probably print it. We could well do that. I don't think I'd be able to put a tag onto this, but, like, you know, unless I printed a little base for it, which I guess I could do, but, like, you know, there's options. So yeah, if anyone finds any cursed Kirby models that they'd be interested in submitting for a potential thing to give away at Janland, you want to see me live on stream being like, oh, you got 4th place in the tournament. You don't get, like, a cool high-quality trophy. You get this abomination. Probably get some laughs from the group or something or other. It might be kind of funny. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll 3D print this for now. I didn't make any changes, though. I don't think. I'll save anyway, just in case. What the heck? Whatever. I don't... There. Just save. Maybe I'll 3D print the Waddle Dee star for now. I don't think that I sent the file to my printer yet. And is this the way that what size is the Kirby? Most of the star here. Should I make you a little bit bigger? I made you like 400% size. Why is this reset to 100? What the heck? Hold on. Increase your size by like 10% more. That's closer to... No, I don't think I need to do that, actually. I think I might have been right the first time. You know, you do something like that, and then, you know, it'll look okay-ish. Sure. You know what I could do, actually? I'm realizing in hindsight. Before I even start this, yeah, I do kind of like this idea. But, that shape, cylinder... Where the hell did my cylinder go? Oh, there it is. I want it to be like that. And then I think 0.2 or something like that. And then I want to set this to negative space. I forget how I do that. It's been a little while. Like, actually make the hole in the bottom wider so the NFC tag can go, like, right in the bottom flush. Instead of wobbling like this one Kirby would do. You know. first place gets this, and the remaining 3 are like, hey, here's remaining prizes. Choose in the order of, like, 2nd, 3rd, 4th for what you get. I forget how I do that. I've done that before. Wait, split mirror? No. Add negative volume. Oh, add negative volume cylinder. Okay. What? No, damn it. Here. Add shape. No. Oh, to this. I remember what I do now. Add part. Cylinder. And this is going to, have I completely forgot how I do this? Add negative volume cylinder. Destroy this generic cylinder. This generic cylinder is one with negative volume. I think that, 4.63 is like the exact middle point. 4.63. X and Y, I think. Oh my god. Alright, I don't know what I'm talking about then. Oh, it's just... I swear, most of my objects start at, like... Oh, this is relative to that, not relative to my build plate. That makes sense then. Here, generic cylinder. We drag it to about here. It's gonna be a little bit bigger than an inch, just to have a little bit of tolerance. It's gonna be like 0.1 inches deep. And is it floating now? Where the heck did it go? Uh-oh. Where is it? It is in there. Yeah, it was floating. Here. And then I need it to be 0, 0-ish. And then I kind of center it, and then I repurpose that hole for an NFC tag. And then, if I go ahead and say slice now, then it prints that as a negative volume, and then I can literally just stick a little sticker in there. And not being centered bugs me a little bit, but I mean, once you put a sticker in there, it'll be hidden, so like, who cares, realistically. But, you know, OCD stuff. Yeah, then I can just put a sticker in there and have it be flush, so there'll be a way that this might actually be superior to this, you know? Ah. Things that you can do with 3D printing. Idea, have a thing on the Cursed Kirby, like the Janland 2026 on the first place trophy, that says, your winner, exactly like that. I'd have to print a platform for it, is what I'd have to do. Which, I mean, I could. Or congratulation, or some equally Englishy congratulations message. Here, save Waddle D Star V2. Let's just get this going here. Waddle D Star... I don't have to call this V2 here. PLA. Let's just get this going, just so that, like, it's in progress at least. And then, you can see I start browsing a bunch of, like, Kirby trophy shenanigans. Here. I need my yellow. What I'm gonna need. Oh, I have to get the pink out. So yeah, while the main thing that I needed to print this stream is done, I now have some more 3D printing plans. And then we're gonna keep the print cam going here. The case. Put this back in here. Grab the yellow. I really like this yellow. It's a silk filament, so it's like all shiny. Shiny, you know, works well for these stars, I would say. Take off the little clip. Bring it around town this way. And then we can just leave that going for a while. Is what we can do while we figure out what the heck else is going on here. Here, sure, Waddle D Star. Give it a go. Give it a shot. Hey. Get that little filament droopy bit. Come on. Get off of there. So, I mean, I think I have that in my folder for the Mario Kart trophy because it corresponds with that. So I go to my Mario Kart trophy folder. I think, yeah, this was the file here. So, I mean, I can make it say, like, whatever I want here. So right now it's saying Kirby Air Riders Janland 2026. And I can set it to, like, whatever font. I can say, like, Comic Sans. No, it's probably Comic Sans something else extension. Because you have to do it, like, case sensitive. This is the thing. Oh. So I could literally do something like, your winner. You'd have to do something like, your winner. And then this is something along the lines of, like, congratulation. Congratulation, your winner. It would look a little funny. Hold on, just for an idea of what that would look like. Let's see here. Mario Kart Star Trophy, Kirby. Let's see here. Let's call it meme tag for now. Something like that. Keep the same fonts and everything. Open the file of the tag, and then find the thingamabob here. Which, if I go back, let's see here. I think I called it meme tag 0.4. Yeah, something like that. And then I go ahead and rotate really quickly. I think 270 for the correct orientation. Delete that. And then for an idea of what that would look like, it would look like this, essentially, is how I print it out. Perfect. I could print it a little base afterwards. Print another one of these wedges. And print congratulation, your winner. With, like, the Janland font. Man, you can hear the time passing in game in the background while this is all going on. So, like, this is a thing that's possible. It is doable. Things can be done. But it is, options are on the table. We have the next week to figure out what the heck thing might be going on. Get the droopies off. Well, I just dropped a little bit of filament behind my keyboard. Whatever, that's fine. Because, yeah, like, I was just planning on having a prize for first place, but it's like, when I have this anyway, then, you know, it's not too bad to, you know, make some more like that and make a bunch of amiibos and have some cool things, you know? And just have the 4th place one, or unless 2nd or something like that just chooses that they really, really want the curse thing, they could give it a go. Good comedy requires hard work, much like making a good spaghetti. Yes, truly.